October 30th, I was involved with a car accident. Not a car-bike accident, which I actually didn't feel like it was that severe. I got doored. Someone opened their door on me. I didn't go flipping over. I kind of just slid forward and perched really quickly and, crunched myself a little bit. And my leg was a little bit bloody. But I didn't think a whole lot of it. I get banged up every now and then. I'm a pretty clumsy guy, so it's not something that really struck me as out of the ordinary.
He called me that afternoon and was like, "This is the crappiest day ever. I got a court summons because we're getting sued, and somebody opened up their door on me."
A couple days later is on the day I went to go vote. I was walking down Elm Street and it felt like my foot was swelling or something, and then all of a sudden it felt like I was going to sleep, and I turned to go into some restaurant or something and just fell.
He's bad with his feet, so we are constantly, yes, he is extremely clumsy.
So I ended up at an orthopedics named Dr. Geoffrey, who told me I had foot drop. And foot drop is essentially where your foot you can't lift your foot. It's called dorsiflexion. You have no dorsiflexion. You can't lift your foot up.
I had no clue what that was. I had never even heard about it. And because of the way that the orthopedics were pitching it to us, it seemed like it was feasible that he had injured his back in some way, and that was affecting the nerves. And when I looked online, WebMD or whatever, and I saw that a lot of people had the same symptoms when they had disc compressions in their lower back like he did. Foot drop began in November, so it was 6 months between the onset of the foot drop and us having to go to the neurologist.
He sent me to Dr. James Love, who, he did a lot of neurological stuff. There's a whole lot of pushing and pulling and twisting and turning, and so they're wanting you to push against them, or they're going to push against you and you have to hold. And they did a whole lot of these tests, and then, at the end of it, he was very. I have a feeling before we even got there, he knew what was going on just by the charts. At the end of the session, he said, I don't think this is injury related. This is some form of motor neuron disease, I think. And I said, does this mean that ALS is kind of on the table as as a possibility? He said, I'm afraid to say that yes, it is on the table. We need to do some more tests on you.
The worst part was the fact that I already knew. Like, in the pit of my stomach, I knew that with his family history and everything, and just the look on the neurologist's face, Dr. Love's face, when we first went in for a neurology assessment, that he had ALS.
It's one of these diseases that there is no blood test for. It's a system of, negating or what's the word I'm looking for? You got to cross everything else off the list in order to come to the diagnosis. But one way of pointing in that direction is to do the EMG, is electromyography, which is essentially a man sticking a series of needles in you and listening and watching the waves of the electrical impulses of your muscles.
They were just completely baffled with the results. He would be able to feel the electric currents, but his muscles weren't responding at all, and they had never witnessed anything like that.
And that was a Thursday. I got a call Friday saying, I'd like you to come in Monday and discuss the test results, it's never a good sign when the doctor doesn't want to say, hey, you don't have to worry about this.
We were so anxious. Every time we thought about it, we would either start crying or just it you know it was we were in denial for like the first half of the weekend, and then when Sunday rolled around it was just like, God, I have to know what's happening. And I think that even though neither one of us said anything, we both kind of understood that this is probably not gonna be good.
He first thing he said when he opened up his mouth, he actually used the full name of it and said, this is all consistent with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And just paused for a second, I guess, waiting for a reaction, which was, very stunned and whatnot.
There's nothing that will take the wind out of your lungs quite like somebody telling you that one day your best friend is going to die in one of the worst possible ways ever.
I don't know. I guess I've always had I've had a good ability to accept the way things are, so I wasn't, and I don't know whether it's having a parent die young or something, but I've always been able to say, okay, this is just what I had. This is what I have to deal with. So there was almost a sense of relief that I finally knew what it was that I had to face.
I just want the world to know that he's my best friend and we're sticking together, and I love him.
She was very teary at first, and by the time we got out, she, the fighting spirit was back in her, and she said, we're gonna fight this. We're gonna do whatever we can to get through this, and I'm not going anywhere. I